All right. Let's fucking
We
go,
live.
guys.
We
We
live.
live. Oh my goodness. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever the heck you guys are. We are with David Tran in the house. Let's fucking go. I've known David for about dude, I don't know how many years it's already. Has it been seven? No, eight
It's
years
been a
now, I
while,
think.
dude. It's been a while. You know,
Um,
when you don't when you can't think of it, it's been a good journey.
exactly. So yeah, I mean, David and I we went to the same uni. We literally met in freshest week, first week of university. I mean, yeah, that was crazy, and we've been friends ever since. And I love the journey that David, you've been on. How about I pass it off to you to give a quick intro, David?
Hey, look. It's an absolute pleasure to be here, bro. I've been really excited for this one, man. I've literally been probably thinking about it for the whole last week now. Yeah, look, I've kept it au natural. This is gonna be all from the heart. But appreciate you having me on here as well. Everything from what you've just said has just literally given me goosebumps because you say the journey, just reminding me how old we're getting, man. The journey, bro. I think we literally met like what? 7 years ago now, and we've been out of uni for a solid 3, 4 years, and time has just flown. So it's getting there. So I feel like if we don't do this now, we're gonna be hitting the uncool ages when we actually do a podcast. So I appreciate you hitting me up now, man.
Our 20s when we're doing it, like not like proper unk status. So, awesome, awesome. But yeah, David, like, what do you do full time? But then also like, what do you do on the side as well, creatively?
Yeah, no, of course. So I have my own startup, which I started about 6 months ago. So really in the growth stage at the moment. So that's probably where a lot of my time is focused at the moment. And then the other side is where you know me, where you've been pushing as well. I do vlogging, travel content, and food content. So that's sometimes all combined into one, and sometimes that's separately. So if you guys are into travel and food content, then please hit up the channel.
Put all of David's links eventually, so don't worry, it's gonna be down there. Get into a bit of the startup thing. Like, so you said 6 months ago. Like, how's that been? I know you, if I'm not mistaken, your journey was out of uni. You were into recruitment, right? And then after that, then you started your own startup. Is that pretty much the journey that I got correctly, or no?
Yes, 100%. You've hit the nail on the head there. So everything was, as you said, we literally started a startup. I say we because I did it with a business partner 6 months ago. But coming out of university, I was straight into recruitment and then sort of transition on from there. How I actually got into recruitment was a very interesting story because I remember actually even telling you at the time when we graduated that I was very insistent on going traveling. Right, and no one was
Yeah.
going to stop me from kind of just taking a year out and traveling. And the backstory behind that is quite like oddly specific as well. And it's because as coming from an Asian background, like we had to work hard, maybe go straight into something like finance or do medicine, right? That's like the cliche. So the whole idea of taking a year out traveling is unheard of because your parents will probably not let you. But I wanted to do that after university, at least achieve the degree first. So I have something to sort of fall back on and be like, hey, look, I've done the degree, so let me go traveling, right? Didn't end up happening at all. Like failed step number one straight away. I came out of university. One of my friends, she was working for a recruitment company, and she was like, "Hey, look, you should, you know, interview. You should try out. This is in this industry is good for you." She was telling me about all the benefits to the industry and everything. So I thought, you know what? Let me just take these interviews. No, recruitment was probably not my first choice coming out of university because of the stigma around the industry and things like that. Like even I thought it was like a kind of like it feels like you're just doing the middleman work and things like that. But then now knowing what I do, I don't regret my decision at all. Absolutely love the time that I spent there. I went through the interview processes the whole time thinking that I was still going traveling. But then clearly at the end of it, I took on the role and the rest is history. Yeah, everything you said was the nail on the head there. Transition through to a different company, learn more about different industries. different sectors, and then kind of went on from there to open a startup in very similar industries. So it's been a very interesting time. Idris, I'm not
When okay,
sorry. I think your audio is cutting out from my side anyway. Oh, it's coming in and out. Technical difficulties. Sorry, guys, we're experiencing it. Now we're
it's
gonna iron
never
it out a
this
little
has
bit.
never happened live, bro. Fuck me.
Hey, hey,
Can you hear
welcome
me
to
now?
2026. A little bit. I know it's cutting out, bro.
What about now? What the fuck? All right, can you hear me? No.
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, hopefully we can continue. But this has never happened live before, so I'm actually pissed off a bit, but it's okay. But it's quite
Welcome to
funny.
welcome to 2026, man. We have the cutting edge AI, but
Thank you, bro.
the,
Thank
the
you.
the mic's not working.
I what I was gonna ask was like during your journey professionally, when did content started popping up in terms of like, okay, like I kind of want to do this on the side.
You know what? Content was like it was like a jack in the box, right? It just kind of sprung
Mm,
out. It was like surprise, you know.
mm,
But I feel like I've always kind of had that in me, and I feel like it
mm,
takes a very a oddly specific person to sort of follow through with it, and like you know, it's nerve-wracking, right? It's kind of crazy because you're just putting yourself out there, so it's very difficult to get started. But it was probably very similar to the journey that you had with content as well, and I'm
mm.
just assuming at this point, so I'd love to get into it with you.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was kind of a thing that I always really enjoyed, kind of like food content, travel content. And I see a lot of YouTubers do it. So I wanted to do it myself. And one of the main barriers to actually making content was the editing side of it. So I didn't
Mm,
even bother. It's one of those things I didn't even bother researching into because I thought, oh, this is going to be so complicated, right? Um, so onto the topic of how I actually got into it, I had
mm,
this camera that I researched years ago, like maybe 3 4 years ago, right? The little DJI camera, the Pocket. You've probably seen it, the one with the gimbal, and you see people walking around with it. And I was like, hey, this thing is so small. Anything to do with social anxiety or things like that would be out the window, kind of. And then you actually start recording and you start noticing how awkward you are and how cringy things are. And I'm just watching it
mm,
and going like, I'm getting the ick for myself kind of situation,
mm,
right? And then
mm,
you start recording with it in public and it's still very awkward. And so you're like, maybe this is not for me. So I actually have like at minimum 2 years worth of content on that DJI camera that no one's ever going to see, that will never ever be released because it's
yeah,
awkward as hell.
yeah.
And I remember watching it and going, okay, this is actually pretty bad, right? And I wasn't actively researching how to become better at recording or anything like that. But I remember coming across this video where there was a guy who was kind of explaining how to be more confident in front of the camera. So it
Mm,
wasn't like a step by step, but it was more like, hey, look, it's less so much of trying to be a persona or character or to just project confidence or anything like that. It's more to do with like, I mean, everyone has their own thoughts inside their head, right? And it's just kind of speaking them out loud. So it's almost as if you're having a conversation with yourself. And
mm,
it's weird at first, but you'll
mm.
get used to it. So I kind of just full sent doing that. I'm a very 0 to 100 person. So I
Yeah,
just
you are.
started talking to myself like a crazy person. And so now the content is pretty much just me projecting my thoughts out loud, and that's how I went from there. Bought some the really top of the end equipment, and now I've invested so much into it. I just have to release videos now, otherwise
Yeah,
I've just wasted money. So yeah, that's
yeah.
how we got into content.
I love that. I love that, man. And there's so many things I want to pick out, but like I think the most interesting thing that you said was that you filmed on your DJI and you had 2 years worth of content in that no one's gonna see it, but that was essentially like your training ground in a way, and that's kind of like you kind of like just like you, and then you watch it as well so that you know, okay, this is how I want to improve the way I speak, the way I enunciate certain words or something. I'm just assuming, and then that kind of like that reflects on the videos on your YouTube, right? Because like when I even like from your very first episode, like you're just so smooth, you're just so like confident, like walking around like oh the Dubai Mall, like etc. Like and that, and I was like, well, I remember when I was like watching those, I was like, dude, it's like a natural. This is like actually like like how David would like be speaking to like me or all of us, but like on the camera, and I think
I know people when they put themselves in front of a camera, it will get daunting or suddenly get awkward. But like you're just so natural, and that explains why, I guess, just because you put in the reps early on, and then basically like yeah, that's how you're able to get to where you are. So that's fucking cool, bro. I love that.
No, thanks, man. No, I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, no, it was good, and I thank you for watching as well, man. I know, you know, the buy video actually was one of my first videos, and when I look back and I look at these videos, I mean, even sometimes I'm still very critical of it, and I'm like, hey, look,
Mm,
I think it's not great. It's not a great video. I think you just kind of have to take feedback as it is, but more importantly, I wanted to make sure that this was something that I enjoyed, because at the end of the day, like, you know, people say all the time, do something that you love. You know, do you remember that meme that was like, don't love your job. I mean, wait, job your
yeah,
love.
yeah.
Yeah,
Job.
yeah, job your love, right? So, I in a way, I kind of don't want content to be a job. I kind of want it
Yeah,
to be something that I love, and
yeah,
that's why I specifically chose food and travel, because I love food and travel so much, dude. Like to an unhealthy amount, right? You can easily pick something to make content about something that you're not passionate about, just because it generates like you know, the most amount of views or income. But I also don't want to look at that side of things. I want it to be as sustainable as possible. So yeah, it's definitely a topic that is very competitive, but
mm,
I am just gonna try and enjoy it, especially with things like the travel aspects can get really expensive as well.
yeah.
So at the start, it's 1,000,000% just for enjoyment rather than trying to make any money or anything from it.
Yeah. Would you say like, given that you're running your own business, so there's flexibility, I guess, in whenever you want to like book time off and travel and film content, or I don't know, or would it be like, all right, cool, peak seasons, I'm just gonna grind it out and then take some time off and like go for my next video, etc.
It's definitely temperamental, man. I feel like
Yeah,
I should be so much more disciplined with it. Like a lot of people, they can work 5 days a week, and
yeah,
then, you know, do 2 days, but I'm supposed to be putting like 100%, almost 100% of my time into the startup. But there's been moments where I'm just like, you know what, let's just go to Japan, you know, or like let's just go and record a video, right?
yeah,
It's exciting. I feel like, you know, a lot of the time when you're sort of working for a company, you want to give it your all, but there's such a fixed 9 to 5 sort of aspect to it that
mm,
you can't sort of go around. Because quite frankly, even when I was working before, sometimes like my work doesn't correlate to how often I'm in the office, or doesn't correlate to working 5 days a week. You know, I can sometimes crunch out 2, 3 days worth of work in one day, sort of situation. So now, sort of having my own startup, I can invest the appropriate time into doing it. But then that time that was, you know, sat idling, because I've done 3 days worth of work in one day, but I still have to be in office for a couple of days, instead of just sort of idling and maybe preparing work for the future. Now I can just use that time to invest into making content, which has been really useful. And you feel much more productive as well. You know, actually allocating time to do that. It's fun. It's like, you know, what you would probably do with on a day-to-day basis anyway, but at the same time you get to sort of just record it and make some meaning out of it. So, you know, that's sort of how the timing aspects works. You know, a lot of the videos that I've released, I probably wouldn't have been able to if I was still doing a full 9 to 5. I mean, you definitely still can, but it's just so much more time consuming. You probably find it the same when you were working and releasing
yes,
music and things like that,
yeah,
and the podcast. So
yeah,
it's definitely more difficult to do so when you're in a 9 to 5, but not impossible. I've had friends who also have been, you know, making videos after work and editing, and surprisingly enough, it actually doesn't take that long to get into content. The editing aspect, maybe if you put a day out, you can probably, you know, edit like a 20 to 25 minute vlog. A lot of people could probably do it a lot faster, but at the end of the day, I still see myself as a beginner. You know,
yeah,
these
yeah.
things will take time.
Love that. Crap, there's just so many things that I want to like, I want to pick up, but like, what's the click moment for you that you were like, okay, cool, I want to get into content or YouTubing? Was there something that like, because you said, okay, you were always innately creative growing up. Was there a particular like YouTuber that you were like, oh, okay, I want to be like him, and or I want to be like them or her, and that's why I want to like start doing this journey. Talk to me about that.
Do you know what? Funnily enough, that's a very good question because there's actually one person that I've been probably going on about way too much over the last 5, 6 months, and it's a
Yeah.
guy called Kevin Ha, and he is not like a crazy big YouTuber. Maybe he's doing like 50K subscribers, which is still an amazing achievement, but he makes like these travel vlogs and the quality of production looks insane. It looks like a
Mm,
movie, and he's just kind of living his life. He's
mm,
trendy. I think initially he started off as a street photographer and a fashion guy, right?
mm,
So he's not doing too much. He's not like putting on a character or persona, but he's like just taking us traveling. When he's going away, when he takes us with his daily life. It's not nothing extravagant. He shows us his routine. He will go and get a coffee in these different cafes in across the world, and then he'll go do some shopping for clothes, outfit of the day, him and his partner. So it was just like I was watching these videos and I was like, wait, hold on, this is just him showing us his life every day.
yeah,
Nothing too
yeah,
crazy. He's not being someone he's not. And for me, that's something that I was always interested in. Like it's cool to see these streamers and their lifestyles and it looks kind of crazy.
yeah.
I, I actually this is off topic, right? But this was actually another barrier to making content, which was I didn't want it to disturb my relationships or interactions with friends. That was actually another huge barrier. So it wasn't
Interesting.
just the editing, right?
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
actually worried that making content would have made people feel a little bit uneasy or uncomfortable
yeah,
to be
yeah,
around. So I didn't
yeah.
do that. So
Mm,
which is why this Kevin Ha guy really inspired me because
mm,
he was doing it with his partner and
mm.
still able to make it really natural. Like it wasn't impeding his interactions or it wasn't unnatural. Um, so Kevin has been a big inspiration, man. I mean, even down to my equipment. Like I've been sort of kind of looking at what he uses. So there's a lot of glaze, but
Yeah,
hopefully he sees this one day and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
reaches out.
I'm gonna send this to Kevin Hart. I'm gonna shoot my shot and let's see what he says, man.
Yeah, hopefully he replies to your DMs, man, because he ain't been replying to mine.
Oh, Kevin, we got a problem here right now. Yeah. One thing that you mentioned when you also said like, yeah, you've been innately creative, right? I'm just like, I think it's just the March babies, bro. Like we're both Pisces.
Yes,
You're
sir.
March 12th. I'm March 13th. Like I think there's that energy going on. You know what I mean? So like I definitely think like there's that zodiac like alignment too. You know,
Do you know? Do you know what it is? I feel like March babies, we're supposed to be wishy-washy, so we don't know what we want. So, right,
correct.
that means
Yeah,
there's always different choices in our heads, and so it's a good when it comes to speaking your thoughts because there's so many
yeah,
thoughts going on, right? So on the creative side, I mean, even we don't know what we want. It's perfect. It's perfect. You can't really do this if you don't have a lot of thoughts, I guess.
that is true.
I can imagine for you, it's probably been quite interesting as well. Like making a decision, even the rap side of things. Like, how did
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what to rap about, and
Oh yeah,
what kind of like rap you wanted to get across? Like, you probably had so many ideas.
yeah. It was weird. I think for me, like if, with the rapping side of things, it was just like it'll just be in my head. It'll just and then if that aligns to like how I'm feeling in that moment, then I'll just like freaking just go into it. And then sometimes that I don't know why the lyrics just make sense, and I'm like, oh cool, I like this. So, but then also sometimes just because like before I moved back home to Malaysia, like I made a friend with a producer, and I would be going to his house. So it was like having that extra pair of like collaboration lens to it was also helpful as well, so he can like guide me too. So Chris, if you're listening to this, shout out to you, man. I love you. So yeah.
No,
um,
no, of course, bro. No, that's really inspiring though. I feel like you are the product of your environment, and when you sort of expose to that, it shows you that it's okay. And you actually asked me, who did you watch? Funnily enough, you also inspired me too. The
really?
raps that, yeah, when you were rapping, I can tell how authentic and how expressive it was, and you
Yeah.
had sort of no fear of putting yourself out there. So it was kind of like for a long time for me, I didn't want to come across like cringy or kind
Mm,
of like really weird in a sense. So
mm,
it kind of put me off. putting out content live. But when I
Mm,
saw how comfortable you were as well, it made me feel
mm.
like, why not? Why not? Just put
Yeah.
it out there and see how it goes. What do you have to
Thank
lose?
you, bro. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think you realize you sort of, directly inspired me to make
Shit,
content.
thank you, bro.
Yeah,
Appreciate
man.
it, man. Damn. Um, I'm gonna cut off the podcast now. We're gonna make love now. I'm kidding. Anyway, uh,
Let's
uh,
go. Let's run it.
um, I I like to ask this question, but like, there's loads of moving parts to like content. Like, where would you say is your first love? Would you say it's the filming, the editing, the sort of like just scripting internally about like what you're gonna talk about? Like, what would you say it is for you?
Do you know what? I thought it's kind of all over the place, to be
Mm,
completely honest with you.
mm,
And I think that's sort of a big contributor to realizing that you enjoy it. Because when you're all over the place, it means that you kind of think about all the aspects of it and you actually enjoy it. And I remember one time it was actually in the middle of the night, and this was actually Dubai,
mm,
for the first video, and it
mm,
was like literally a week before kind of going out. Every single night, I would think about what type of shots I would want to take and what kind of story you want to tell. And that
mm,
was actually the aspect that I think is not strong enough. I believe is why I sort of really love making content, and that's telling the
mm,
story.
mm,
What kind of
mm.
story you want to tell, because a
Yeah.
lot of the time, like, especially on the content side, I'm still learning a lot. The best way to look at it is seeing yourself as a beginner. And
Mm,
when you sort of kind of see yourself that way, you start seeking advice, not necessarily like from a very, professional basis. You just start looking at ways of how to improve. And a lot of the time, the best YouTubers, the best people who make content are storytellers. It's a brand,
mm.
it's an image, right? Especially, I think you worked in media previously.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, right. It's how you present yourself. It's a story, right? And whenever, there's more traction, more
Mm,
people interested in it,
mm,
it's the story that you're telling, whether it's a story of yourself or the story that you want to portray. So I try and incorporate as much of that into my videos as possible, right? To try
mm,
and make sure that there's some sort of progression that is not, it's not everywhere, and what kind of thing I want people to see, whether that's from the intro. Like, I love
mm,
making intros, bro. Like, the
mm.
intros are so cool. It
Yeah.
gets to show a lot of your character, your personality. Like, a lot of time, I used to think you have to keep it so professional, you have to keep it
Yeah.
PG. But
Yeah.
then kind of now going into make it, I've kind of adopted the sort of like forget about it mindset,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to use the music I want to use, even if
Yes.
people might think it's really weird. I'm going
Yeah.
to make sure that I do like drops or transitions, or,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, like, I make sure that things drop on beat. I like to use songs that reflect my personality.
Yeah.
I like to use clips that kind of show that side that you're not afraid to show anymore, but
Yeah.
before you might be. So
Yeah.
that's the kind of area that I really enjoy about making content. It's just that's telling the story bit.
Nice. And you know what's interesting is like I don't know, I'm sure you've heard about this as well. Towards the end of last year, I think all the big tech companies in the States, they were like, yeah, we're hiring like a chief storyteller. We'll pay this person like
Yeah, yeah,
200
yeah.
grand like a year. I'm just like, bro, like, because especially in that B2B SaaS world, I'm just like, fuck, man, like, that it kind of shows like people are like really looking for that storytelling edge, especially when people can see through AI slop in terms of like
Yes,
marketing and
yes.
stuff. So that's why they want that. If they know that humans are selling to humans, obviously what bridges that is that storytelling element, I guess, to invoke that,
But
emotion,
bro,
etc.
the storytelling aspect of it, kind of like it's so important because it's like, it's not only is captivating, but it also shows how authentic something is. And I think authenticity is the real brand here. Like,
Mm,
at the end of the day, if you're making content and you're being a character that you're not, it's so hard to sustain long term. But
correct,
if
correct.
you are truly loved for yourself and how authentic you are, then at the end of the day, that's so much easier to sustain because it's you. You don't have to put on a character every time the camera's on, and that's literally what I sort of try to practice and preach. And it seems to be good, doing okay. So I'm just gonna try and stick with it.
How did you start out balancing the two with like full-time work and also with releasing as well? Like, I'd love to understand like what kind of systems or frameworks you have just to balance that, or maybe do you time block some of your days, batch to batch
Mm.
content and edit content, etc.
Yeah, no, of course. I think time blocking is so important, even regardless
Yeah,
if you make content or not. Time blocking is so
yeah,
important. That was something that I wish I kind of prioritized a little bit more whilst we were at uni.
yeah,
Probably would have
yeah,
got higher scores,
yeah.
100%.
Same for me.
Bro, yeah. And now the way I kind of see it, like with time blocking, it's literally I kind of treat making content and editing especially as a treat.
Mm,
So it's
mm,
like, hey, look, if you get all of your work done at the start of the week, then I can finally like treat myself to doing some content creation and doing
interesting.
some editing, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like Monday to through Thursday, usually you'll never catch me doing anything content related. Monday to Wednesday, Monday to Thursday, but I'm thinking about it every day, Monday through Thursday. I'm thinking about doing content and editing, but I'm just focused on the work. I'm focused on the startup side of things,
Yeah.
making sure everything's in place.
Yeah.
And even if it's not directly work for clients, it's just to make sure that the systems are doing well, and
Mm,
just end up thinking about, things 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks down the line, and to make sure that you're actually taking a step towards that, even if you're not trying to complete a task fully. Um, and then once I sort of, I'm very strict with that. If I don't finish everything that I set out from Monday through Thursday, I won't even touch content. I'll make sure that it's
interesting.
done.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think a big element of that is you have to be harsh on yourself as well. Because I don't think I've actually missed the target, but I know myself. And if I miss the targets that I set for myself, I'm going to be so harsh that I probably won't end up doing any content anyway. And I'll try and
Mm,
crack out another
yeah.
week's worth of work in that
Yeah.
week just to make sure that we are ahead of the game. It's so easy to basically just focus on one thing instead of the other. But for me right now, I think the work side edges it. The startup side definitely edges it a little bit more than the content. But
Mm,
that's not where my end goal is. You know me, I want to make content fully
yeah.
full time,
Yeah.
full time, not just the full time that we've been saying. And maybe even do it 90-10, content 90% of the time, and
Yeah. Yeah.
10% on the startup. One day, man,
Love
that's the end goal.
Love that. No, that's so clear. What I'm getting from you is just you know what you want, you're crystal clear, but you're also holding yourself accountable to what actually is expected of you. Like for example, like you said, the business that's like taking up a lot of your time. If you don't hit your targets, then it's like, well, I'm gonna put content to the site because like we have to make the business work, etc. So, and I feel like that's always been like how you are, man. So yeah, so that's admirable to see, bro.
Do you, do you know do you know what? You can probably sort of like attest to this, but I think is and actually when I say this, I feel like you're so far ahead of the game compared to me. Not that it's a comparison, but I feel like you're so comfortable with content and things like that. I feel like the sort of no, I wouldn't say the stigma is bad, but it's like, especially coming from university and doing a degree, content is completely unrelated to what I studied. For example, I did
Yeah.
mathematics at
Mm,
university. So, kind of coming from that background and having expectations from parents and things like that to do something finance related, content is not the first thing on your mind. And even now, like, I feel like sometimes there's hesitations towards that, which is where I feel like you're probably a lot more on board with being expressive. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it can be very, very difficult to get into. And you sometimes you don't feel good about yourself. Sometimes you might not see the results right off the bat, and that's why it's so important to love it rather than look at the numbers. So yeah, I don't know how you feel about that, how you sort of come to terms of balancing it for yourself, because when you're not producing obviously you want to be authentic, but when
yeah.
the financials aren't there, when it's not
Yeah.
making you the money, like how are you balancing that, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it goes back to what you said about how you're doing it because you enjoy it and you're doing it because you want to do it. Then that was
Mm,
the same case for me. But then also when I was like obviously like having a full-time sort of like within my whole like lifestyle, it was like I try to make sure there's like a input. So like, am I putting in at least one content a week, or am I making time
mm,
to like do that the whole time once a week? So that allows me to have at least like a consistent system that I can at least like see eventually and reflect like, okay, cool. If I'm putting out one content a week, I may not get the most ROI, but at least I'm building up my reps, and my workflow could be faster, etc. And then so I think that, but it was hard as well, bro, because I was doing like loads of different things, like meeting up people and just like doing like other
Mm.
side quests. So I was like, I think that was the most that I can do then. Now it's a bit different. Now I'm trying to like ramp up more on the content side of things. I have a I basically have a secret account where I'm just like testing out different content hooks, and no one knows about this, so I'm not gonna tell anyone. But it's like I'm just testing out, like, posting once a day, so that I can see like, okay, what's the market like, or are my hooks actually like captivating or engaging.
Mm.
And then I think it's almost 30 days posting now, so I'm
Yeah.
reflect through like, okay, what am I going to do. And I think yeah, I think it's because I have like I literally put in my calendar like, okay, edit post, edit post, edit post, or like batch make, edit post, something like that. So yeah, and I like it. That's the most important thing.
Now I see what you're doing with your time. You've got that burner account that's been just putting really
Yeah,
questionable comments underneath
yeah, yeah,
posts on
no, oh.
Instagram, bro. I know it's you now. I know it's you.
um,
Yeah.
but you your your main medium of distribution is YouTube. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, yes. Well, I mean, look, you know what? I don't know if you kind of, I feel like I know the answer to this question already, but I feel like once you start getting creative, you can't stop. It's great.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's like this plug that you pull, right? I was gonna say something quite inappropriate there, but you pull the plug and it just, bro, you just can't stop, and you just start coming up with so many different ideas, different channels, different things that you want to put out, right? Because like I know I mentioned to you, I want to keep it quite simple, food and travel, right? But I actually also do editing for sports content. I love sports
Mm,
as well. You know, I
yes,
mean,
yes,
I'm a sports person myself. This is actually something that this is how you know I love content and
yeah,
the job so much, right? But I
yeah,
forget that I also compete in volleyball as well.
yeah,
That's also a very big part of my life that I
yeah.
just
That is true.
completely have just forgotten, right?
Yeah,
Um, but I also make sort of lots of sports content for friends, for people who compete, and it's like really dynamic. It's like crazy guys who have like 40-inch vert, and like I just this is so off topic, but it's like I also make content for those guys too, and do the edits for that, and that's super fun. So I've made like a separate page for that as well. So
yes,
now
I saw it.
it's kind of between YouTube, Instagram, TikTok is actually a platform I want to utilize a little bit more.
Okay,
But
okay.
I mean, I'm from that generation that was a bit like, oh, you're a TikToker. That's a little bit
True,
weird.
true, true.
That's showing the age, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I definitely want to use TikTok a little bit more as well. But now we're doing very similar things to you, making loads of different accounts and
Yes,
posting, different frequencies, and
yeah,
seeing how it goes, really.
yeah. If someone were to ask you like, hey, David, like, like how I'm thinking of starting out like a YouTube channel, like what would you say, like how did you grow from like 0 subscribers to like, say, 100 plus 200 or something, like, because like that's basically like, how you've grown like quickly on your YouTube account, man. So that's fucking awesome. So yeah, what would you say attributed to that?
No, 100%. You can probably, agree to this as well, but it's just again kind of like just putting yourself out there. I think that's the
Mm,
hardest part.
mm,
You're always worried whether it's going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. Trust me, man. Like
mm,
I look back at the first video and I know you said there's some very positive things about it, which I'm very appreciative of, but I sometimes I watch it and I think this is not great.
mm,
And that's okay. I watch the second video, I think this is not great.
mm,
And that's okay. You're going to put out bad stuff. And I think the most important thing is if you're going to be authentic and people are staying, that's the people that you really want to make content for because they're actually going
mm,
to enjoy what you're putting out there, right?
mm,
And it's not easy. It's that's hard to believe. No one wants to put out things that people don't like or to be not liked in general.
mm, mm,
So you're always going to question it. You're always going to feel that, and you kind of just have to be stubborn. That's the one area you have to be stubborn about. Who cares?
mm,
Who cares? If you don't like it, don't watch it. Kind of vibes. I'd
yeah,
love for everybody to love the content that I make, but you can't charm the world. Like even though like this goes back to uni days. You're such a charming guy. Like literally not everyone's gonna love you, and
yeah,
sometimes you got to be okay with that. And
yeah,
that's the same with content. Not everyone's gonna love you, and you got to be okay with that. Keep pushing, keep putting it out there, and one day it hits. Like even me now, I know from the YouTube perspective, not
Mm.
every video is a hit. The
Mm.
subscriber count for me personally could be a lot higher, but you know, as long as the 100 people or the 5 people who watch you every time you post still watch you and still say something, it's enough for me.
When I started like posting more content, especially like short form videos on my Instagram. I don't know about you, bro, but like I got way more unfollowers than followers.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you notice that? And I think it's because like I think in a way it's just kind of like because I'm transitioning the type of content I'm putting out, and maybe a lot of people previously they're like, oh, like this isn't the Idris who I want to sort of like get value from, because at the end of the day, like if you're putting out a lot of like these kind of contents that people are staying are either like they enjoy it or they
Hmm.
don't. So that's been the interesting thing that I've been seeing, especially like since I've pivoted to more like
Yeah.
video stuff.
I,
Um,
I, it's so hard though, right? And it's a bitter pill to swallow because sometimes like when people who unfollow you, you don't know, it's
yeah,
it's it's kind of okay in a way.
yeah,
But
yeah,
if it's your friends or like people that you thought were your friends, that's a bitter pill
yeah.
to swallow sometimes. You're
I
like, hey,
know.
you know, like so but then that's how you sort of kind of filter out, you know, who's truly there, you know,
Yes.
who actually what people actually think of you. And that's a good part. I feel like it helps you grow up as well. I don't know if you feel the
Yeah.
same way, but you grow a lot when you start making content and you know you start really developing yourself. And I think as well, character development, it makes you a less judgmental person, you know, and you
True.
really applaud people for being themselves. It's not
Yeah.
easy, bro. Like
Yeah.
seeing the journey that you've been on
Yeah.
especially has been
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, like
Thank-
you have so much going on in your personal life, like, you know, kind of like having to move back to Malaysia and things like that
Yeah.
now. But
Yeah.
you're still putting out like I remember you were putting out daily videos of you know, day one of trying to
Yeah.
get a job, you know,
Yeah.
and then you were
Exactly. Yeah.
putting out like rap music,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you were
Yeah.
still releasing things on the podcast. And it's like you know, that is, if that's not a show and demonstration of resilience, I don't know what is. You probably went
Yeah.
through so much during that period and you still kept going. So, you know, did you feel the same way? Did you kind of have this air of, you know, I don't care. Let me just put
Yeah.
content out.
You know what? What's interesting? I think only Chloe knows about this side, because I don't anyone no one's ever asked me that. So thanks for asking. Um, it was the content was like my release. It was like I was looking forward to it because it was kind of like
Mm,
an escape in a way. It's like number one, it gets me in the reps that I put my stuff out, but also number two is like I just needed to like I know that I want to release out. I want to do this, and I was trying to like figure out, okay, like what would I enjoy, but also what would people get some value out of it as well. So and yeah, so that's what kept me going with during that grind set moments.
yeah, no, that's really interesting. And then also as well, I mean, the biggest question is about why did you start the podcast? Because I can only assume, and I feel like from my perspective, you get to do this with your friends. You get to have conversation with your friends and post it. That
Right.
must be so rewarding, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Why did I start a podcast? I love the fact that among all my guests, you were like guest number two who asked me this. So I love this. Two reasons why. Number one, I think so the goal that I want to have for this is number one, I want to share people stories of like say yourselves, for example, who are working 9 to 5 but also have a creative side hustle. And the reason why I'm focusing on creative is because I think that has been an element that people will usually put aside. Coming from an Asian background, like you said, it's like,
Mm,
oh, like mom, dad, I want to be like a, I don't know, like a ballerina or whatever, or like a YouTuber or whatever. And then they'll be like, well, like, what's the security out of that, right? I mean, obviously, they're all thinking about like long-term stability and security. That's why they're like, go for doctor, lawyer, engineer, fine,
mm,
banker, whatever. Um, but then at the same time, me personally, I never really like to be boxed in and being told what to do. I want to be able to do whatever I want to do. And I think because creativity is such like a, at least when we were growing up, like such a stigma, I think people have that innately, but they just decided to forego it for that traditional path. Um,
mm,
so that's where it was like kind of like I just thought about it like, well, I know there's a lot of cool people who are doing it now, like both balancing both sides or eventually transitioning to like full time. And I don't think I've heard lots of stories about it, and I want to sort of like share that with people so that like hopefully the younger people down the line, younger generations, older generations can actually get inspired to start. So that's why I think that's the main like crux of it.
So you're a natural at this. Honestly, you answered my next question as well because I was going to ask you like what's the end goal for it. But that's so it's so nice to hear because it kind of just kind of confirmed my suspicions on what type of person that you are. I mean, I've known you for a while now anyway, but
Yeah.
you know, it's deeper than that, and the why is also very important, and you can clearly hear that in what you say. I don't think you knew this, but I actually wanted to start a podcast once upon a time.
Really?
I just never really found like what I wanted to do it in, for example. And also, you see so many memes as well. Not everyone should have a podcast.
Yes,
And
yes.
yeah, dude, it just makes me think like, oh, okay, maybe not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What would you want to go into though if you ever decided to start it?
You know what? I've never really. This is a clear example of something that I've never put too much thought into. I did want to
Mm,
go back in the day because I used to think, oh, actually, we have so many interesting conversations, especially for as friends, you know,
yeah,
especially topic conversations that can easily cancel you as well. So I was like,
yeah,
whatever, right?
yeah,
But I
yeah, yeah.
wanted to just keep it natural, like, you know, the banter, just the jokes and stuff. But I think that content is quite hard to make because, like, again, there's no real structure to it.
True, true, true.
So you kind of just have to hope that the people come on the channel are also very like
Hinge.
funny. Dude, I don't know
Yeah.
if this happened to you, but sometimes you meet super funny guys, but as soon as the camera comes out, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you know,
yeah.
right? Oh, you never really know because I can invite the funniest guy in the world onto a podcast, but then he might just give like just freeze, you know,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
situation. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to talk about on a podcast, but I think you found a really good, you know, directive, like, you know, kind of speaking to people who have
yeah,
transitioned into content
yeah,
and things like that.
yeah.
It's good to hear. It's inspiring, you know, and especially the business side. Like even on YouTube, there's like guys who are interviewing like millionaires and billionaires. Like it's a
Yes.
good it's entertaining. It's a good
Yeah.
niche. So no, that's really good. I haven't put too much thought into it. Maybe if I did one, it'd be about travel and food. Just sticking with the theme here.
Oh, that would be cool though. That would be cool. It's kind of like travel travel nightmares or like what's your travel hack to like, blah 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 or like all that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just like imagining you talking to like a fellow other travel creator, for example.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm now actually speaking to you about it. It's inspiring me a little bit. It's opening me to ideas a little bit, and it's more like a. I understand why people make complaining content now as well because it's so much easier to complain about things, right? So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, like a complaining sort of ranting type podcast.
yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. This is my favorite question to ask all my guests, but were there were there any transferable learnings that you've taken from your full time or your what you do during the day and also applied or even taken from content, YouTube, for example, and applied to one another?
You know what? Oh, I'd say definitely, but not in the way that you probably expect. It's like I feel like everything from my career actually doesn't translate into my content at all.
Mm,
If anything, is the opposite. You know,
mm.
everything I don't want from my career
That is so cool.
kind of
Okay.
situation. You know, like
Yeah.
because like I feel like it's so rigid sometimes. Like especially when it comes to work, that when it comes to my content, it's so
Mm,
free flowing rather
mm,
than it being so rigid. It's
mm,
like so many unspoken rules when it comes to work.
mm.
So when it comes to content, there's no unspoken rules. Whatever goes kind of
Yeah.
situation. So kind of like the things that I've taken from my career is how not to be kind of situation in my content. So it's like two sides. And I've always had this problem with being 0 or 100. A lot of people can balance things. I'm not. I'm 0 or 100. Like for example,
Yeah.
if I'm working, I'd rather work 6 months and like take a month off rather than 50-50. Some people can work hard, play hard. I'm not that guy. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's really difficult to do. And so, you know, I learned to sort of also apply that to content as well, right?
Mm,
I'm 0 or 100
mm.
with the content. You know, sometimes
Yeah.
we go away for like three, 3 weeks, maybe 3, 4 locations, and I'll make like 4, 5 videos worth of content and just stockpile it. And then when I'm ready, I'll edit it all in one go, kind of situation. So those are kind of like the elements I take away from work. And actually, a lot of the content side comes from it's more my personality, bro. Like, you know, when we
Yeah.
first met and it was just so like fluid and It was
Yeah,
just so like, we literally became like the best friends from the first day we met. And it was
yeah,
like sometimes like a lot of people would probably look at it and go, "Well, that doesn't seem very authentic." But like, bro, every time I saw you since the first time we met was just
yeah,
literally the same. High energy,
yeah.
just straight up networking, bro. And like it
Likewise.
just developed to being something so much closer from that. And that's how I feel my content is. My work's not necessarily like that. I'm extremely passionate about my work. I love what I do, but I feel like I'm providing a service. I'm being adding value to someone. I'm providing, just my what I do best for somebody. Whereas YouTube, in a way, I'm really passionate about it. I want everyone to love what I put out, but at the same time, like a part of me is like, if you don't like it, you don't have to be here, kind of situation. So it's just for me. It's my character, it's my personality, it's how not to be when it comes to work.
Dude, that is so strong. And I love that that was the first answer out of all my episodes so far that someone has literally just said that. Because I'm always, when I think about this question, I'm always trying to think like, okay, like, so if someone's doing a completely different left field to like, what they're doing full time, and then on their creative side, it's like, how do they bridge the gap, or what parts of their brain do they use more,
Mm,
etc. But then the fact that you're like, you yourself know that, all right, I don't like what I'm doing a lot of the times, and that's why my creative sort of like medium of expression is the direct antithesis of it, is like so fucking interesting, man.
yeah. No,
I
of
love it.
course. And I think as well, you don't have to hate what you do. Like I actually genuinely enjoy my startup so much, the
Yeah,
work a lot. But
yeah,
it's like the two sides of you. You probably have this inside. It's like, I think a lot of people who come from backgrounds where their parents are quite strict and have
yeah.
expectations of them. That
Mhm.
one side is that sort of discipline side, and that the other side is the free flowing tap, right? So that's the two balances. Like I'm always gonna have that side of discipline to me and the work aspect of it that is very strict. I can't get rid of that because at the end of the day, that's still me. You definitely have that on as well, right? I assume with like the work aspect of it and everything. It doesn't mean you hate it. It just means that it's a part of you, and this is just the other part of me. And to
Mm,
be honest with you, I mean, I feel like the deep down, I would want the creative side to be bigger
yes,
than the
yes,
the discipline side, but
yeah.
as it stands, it's pretty even. Um, but it's what makes you who you are. So it's just two sides rather than one being the devil and one being the angel, you know?
Yeah, so
It just
yeah,
comes
yeah, yeah,
across that way a little bit.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. No, I love that. I love it, man. If someone were to ask you for advice, like, hey, like, I'm thinking of starting YouTube, etc., like, what would you tell them?
I think you just gotta full send it.
Mm,
I think it's hard as well because kind of going through that journey recently, you kind of just have to full send it. You kind of just have to put it out there, and just accept that, it's not going to be the way that you want it to begin with.
mm,
The equipment, there's such a big barrier as
mm, mm.
well. And I recognize that. I think not everyone is able to just buy whatever equipment that you need, but you don't need to be so crazy with it. Like a lot of the time, there was a period actually where I bought like an expensive camera, a really good lens, and things like that. But I think that actually the Dubai video, a lot of it is shot on my phone. Um,
I couldn't
yeah,
tell, I thought it was on like yeah, actual camera. What the fuck?
yeah. I had the DJI still, but I actually sold the DJI now because and I think a new one's coming up. But besides the point, it was actually a tool that I used a lot, like the DJI on my phone. So, and I think the DJI, like you can get one like pretty much used for like maybe a couple $100, which is still a
Yeah,
lot of money, but like
yeah, yeah,
it's a great workhorse. Your phone is so easy to point and shoot with it. So the equipment side of it, I think, can be also a little bit of a headache, but you don't need nothing crazy. Like a lot of the content is on my phone, the Dubai content and stuff. You can just pull it out whenever. So, yeah,
yeah.
that's my advice, bro. Just,
Yeah.
just send it, just record, record, record. And sometimes as well, actually, you wish that you recorded more because you might just take parts for B-roll or whatever, but just record, get it out there. And weirdly as well. I think even I watched this video, like, and remember we spoke about the guy called Kevin, right? He was saying how sometimes his takes can take up to like 40 minutes for one segment because he keeps like pausing and going again.
Interesting.
That's something that I actually never really had too much trouble with. Like I never really had to shoot segments for like 10, 15 minutes. And like for me, when I release stuff, um, if it's not perfect, if I make a mistake, I kind of just roll with it. I kind of just like
Mm,
sometimes even put that in there because I'm like
yeah,
it's kind of natural, right? Which is
yeah,
why I'm probably on like 50K less followers than him, you know. So you guys, take his advice, bro. But I
yeah.
think sometimes like making mistakes is kind of cool.
Mm,
People make mistakes. Put it in there.
mm,
That's not too bad. I think with,
mm.
with, with, with what you're doing, like even the podcast, sometimes if you say something that's not supposed to be said, maybe that makes it more natural. I don't know if you feel that way.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly. Um, yeah. Sometimes there's times now I just deliberately just like leave like I don't know like yeah some random shit that I just say just cause and rather like because I think people I don't know I'm trying to not be too anal on like making it too polished. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Enjoy those errors, enjoy those mistakes because they're actually steps towards you improving. So, just enjoy it, embrace it, and you get to share with your audience that's those sort of that journey, that's those steps of getting better.
yeah, yeah, exactly. In terms of analytics, like how much of that are you looking through? I guess like do you review that a lot after say like some of your videos are have gone out and then you sort of like break down say like where retention is doing well at certain aspects, where the
Mm.
hook's doing well at certain aspects as well. How much of that are you incorporating that into yeah your workflow, I guess?
Yeah, I mean it's difficult, right? I mean, like the biggest part of it was I wanted it to be for it to be fun first and
Yes,
foremost, but it's
yes,
really hard not to look at analytics, bro. It's
correct.
so difficult. You probably
Yeah,
on analytics a lot, right? But it's
yeah,
so hard to not look at it because you just want to make sure it's engaging. You still
yeah,
want to be using because in a world where data and AI is so powerful, right? You want to
yeah,
utilize it as much as you can, but I
yeah,
don't want my content to be so robotic that it's just hitting the numbers or hitting the targets or you know set in a certain way that it makes it engaging for people just because it's by statistics. I kind of still want
mm,
that human element, that me element to it. You touched on the topic of, AI and deep fake and things like that, right? In this world, authenticity is so much power. But I think the aspect that I kind of it keeps me away from analytics is just that humanly aspect, right? Just like how we met. I go back to that a lot, but it was such a pure interaction,
yes,
and I kind of want it to be a pure interaction with the people that follow my content, whether that's the food, travel, or even the sports, right? Because a lot of the time, the sports video actually it's my friends, it's people that we know that that you're trying to make them look good, and ultimately that makes them feel good about themselves, and it's a really positive feeling. So, like a lot of the time, like funnily enough, in Dubai, with the first video, like we're not famous or anything at all by no any means, right? If anything, it's the opposite. But because I had my camera out, I had the most wholesome interaction with one of the local business owners over there, right?
yeah.
And she was
Sounds good.
yeah, dude, she was a restaurant owner and she was just promoting her food. I think it was Palestinian food, my first time trying Palestinian food, and she was so accommodating. She was like showing us all the different cuisines. She was literally giving us like, not that it was about the free food, but she was giving us like extra food for free,
Yeah, yeah,
things
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And it was just like such a wholesome interaction. Like, you get to speak to people because of content. You get to, really like get to know people, and that was fun.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
interesting. Sometimes on the one side you think it's embarrassing and awkward, and then on the other side people find it interesting. Like, what is this guy shooting? What kind of content
yeah,
is he making?
yeah,
What
yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
message is he trying to get out there? And
Yes,
yeah, it's that's definitely the aspects that I think are so great about it.
amazing, amazing, bro, amazing. I love that. I love that. And down the line, do you think you'll still stay within travel and food content, or would you like to, and also sports as well, or like, are there some bits in your mind where you're like, oh, maybe it might be cool to try this, but like, I'm gonna stick to this for now.
I think as a base foundation for sure, it's what I'm comfortable with is what I love. But I think I would want to make it sort of like more sustainable going forward, right? I mean,
Yeah,
At the end of the day, I think right now it's good to travel and make content, but I can only do that maybe on like a monthly basis. That well, actually, monthly basis is kind of crazy. That's a lot of traveling.
That is a lot though.
Dude, that is a lot of traveling, right? And it gets expensive quick. I think like further down the line, I would like to pivot to content that's a little bit more natural. Like, especially when we get a little bit more traction. Maybe I can just sort of speak to the audience and kind of just have conversations, just like we are, bro. This like,
Yeah,
funnily
yeah,
enough, like
yeah.
this podcast has felt I've really enjoyed it so far.
Thank you,
It's
man.
been great. So I feel like
Yeah,
even things like this, it feels natural. That's how I want to engage with with people who are watching, the subscribers, um, and things like that. So ideally, I'd love to pivot into something that's very natural, day to
yeah,
day, and can
yeah,
get you involved. I mean, that just sounds like streaming, but I don't want to stream.
yeah, yeah,
So it'd be great to sort of pivot into more daily life,
yeah,
cafes,
yeah.
day in the life, week
In
in the
life, yeah.
life,
All that kind.
and maybe even more food heavy than travel heavy because I think
Yeah,
food content is more sustainable. And like at the end of the day, I'd love to get some friends involved, man. So if you ever want to
yeah.
jump in a video, like a holiday with
I would
friends,
love to jump in.
our next video is actually a ski trip with a couple of my buddies who just got engaged. So, it's nice to try and bring more people into it and, just make sure everyone gets a bit of love.
Amazing. When is that video coming out?
You know what? I'm still editing it, so this is actually keeping me accountable, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hopefully
Okay, okay.
next weekend, bro. Next weekend,
Nice.
new video dropping.
Well, guys, you heard it live. New video next week coming out, so better watch out for that. If you, especially if you love skiing, or if you just want to see, yeah, just wholesome vibes as always from David. So let's go.
Hey,
Um,
man, there's a Japanese spa in Stockholm, bro. We went to the Japanese spa, man. If you guys want to see what it's like, Japan in Sweden, jump in.
ooh, dude, I can only imagine that that would be like freaking like top tier. Um,
Yeah, and it
yeah.
was peak enjoyment, bro. Peak enjoyment. Sweden is so underrated, man. If you have a few days, you should definitely go.
Okay, Sweden, yeah. Okay, cool. I'll speak to Chloe about it and see what's up. And
Yeah, 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 yeah. We'll meet you out there. We'll meet you out there.
hell yeah, bro, let's go.
Yeah.
Um, amazing, amazing. And I guess we're coming to the end of the podcast now. I probably have three more things to ask. Actually, two more things, and I'll go to like actually a quick fire round as well, which I like to do with my guests. So,
Yes, sir.
yes, sir. But okay, before the quick fire round, so um, what would you say has been the greatest piece of advice that someone's imparted to you, that you've really held on to throughout your journey, and that yeah you've just applied to the way that you carry yourself throughout
Do,
life, etc.
do you know what? That's a tough one because I feel like choosing one piece of advice is really tough. But
Mm,
there's things that pop up here and there, and one
mm.
of the really weird ones, right? I remember we were maybe in like seventh grade when I literally first started secondary school. We just absolutely berated the headmaster because she dropped this bar, right? This line. And we were just like, this is terrible. This is so crap, bro. All right. And it was just literally 4 words. She's like, these 4 words will stick with you for life. And at the time, I was like, whatever. Funnily enough, they've stuck with me with life for life so far. Right.
Really?
And they were like just 4 words that I was like, this is so crap. And she said, work hard, be nice.
So simple, but I love that though.
I feel like it's so uninspiring, bro. Especially to tell a kid in seventh grade, right? To tell all the kids in seventh grade, right? But that's the first thing that comes to mind, So clearly
Mm,
it's there, right? So
yeah.
work hard, be nice. So simple, but that's what I've sort of applied. Um, and that's the one that sticks. Uh, and then the other quotes are just sort of ones that have come so more recently, but that's the one that kind of sticks the most to me. Have you got any yourself that have stuck with you?
Weirdly enough, it's another school thing. And I feel like my like primary school or middle school friends, like if they listen to this, they'll be like, "What the fuck?" But it's actually the school motto. Uh, it says, "Learn, persevere, succeed." It's
Okay,
so
okay, okay.
lame, but it's like I don't know about it, but like something about it resonates with me. Um,
Yeah,
and in certain degrees, like I kind of like carry myself through that. If not, 1% better every day. I like that a lot. One of my previous guests, like,
Mm,
she lives by that. And then this is from a book. One of my first big boy books that I read when I was young. It's Cain and Abel, by Jeffrey Archer. Highly recommend to anyone reading it. But it's the quote is "Fortune favors the brave." So it's kind of like
yes.
audacious, be audacious, go for it. That the ROI is there unless you put yourself out, basically. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
No, of course. I think also one that comes to mind as well is surround yourself with people that you want to be.
yeah, true though,
You know,
true,
that's a
yeah,
good one.
yeah,
Having a supportive bubble is so important, and that's more important than ever when it comes to the
mm,
creative side, bro. Like you
mm,
gotta you gotta surround yourself with people who support what you do,
exactly.
because that's what you decided to do. So and we'll always be here, bro. I'll be watching when this podcast blows up, when this becomes big.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I hope I've always been a big believer.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man. Same for what you're doing as well, bro. I hope you know, like, yeah, man. I've been day one, so yeah, you know how it is.
What is what is next? What is next, bro? Music, podcast, what is next for you?
For me,
Yeah.
uh, music, I am I basically released a song 2 weeks ago. So now I'm just focusing on like promoting it still, although it's been kind of slow. I've been slow with promoting it. But I have been working on something as well. I'm trying to find a producer in Malaysia as well, just because like I got into a rhythm like making a friends with a producer, Chris. Love you, Chris. He's all the way in London. But I knew to find like a Chris equivalent here. So that's the
Mm,
music thing. But I'm putting myself out there. I'm going to more networking events. I'm going to one next Friday, so that'll be cool. Funny enough, I had a dinner at a mate's house last night, and this guy he also makes music. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Not my friend, it's like some of the guests. And then I was like, are you going to that's the event next Friday? Are you going to? I was like, yeah, I'm going to it too. I was like, what the fuck, bro? It's like a small world. So that's cool. So I'm doing that podcast. I'm just trying to keep it like consistent rhythm once a month, but also I think I need to be more aggressive with my outbound,
mm,
and that cold outreach. So there's like a target list that I have, and I think I've been sleeping on some of them for a while. So I think I need to like bang them out, like kind of really work like an
okay.
SDR basically. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how I'm
No,
treating it.
that's cool, bro. This should have been the other way around. You should have been in the hot seat. I should have been interviewing you, bro.
No, no, no.
You got so much knowledge to share.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But we'll see. Maybe next time, or whatever. Like, yeah, I'll share what works for me, but and all that. Now we're entering my favorite round, with all my guests, which is the quick fire round.
Yeah.
So how this works is basically there's like maybe five questions that I'd love to ask you,
Hmm.
um, and then we'll go from there. Basically, are you ready?
I feel like you're gonna put me on the spot, but hey, ready as ever, baby. Let's go. Let's
Awesome.
get it.
Okay, first one. Favorite city to travel to?
Tokyo all day, bro. Don't even have to think about that, bro.
Okay, fair, easy,
Tokyo.
light work. I mean, yeah, I
Wait,
don't even need to ask you why. So,
are we? Yeah, I was gonna say, are we explaining that, bro? I'm actually going back.
no,
I'm actually
yeah,
going back
yeah.
to Tokyo soon.
Wait, you go with Is it next in a few weeks or something?
Yes, I'm going in 3 weeks with our
Okay, wait,
cardio.
yeah, yeah, because he
Yeah,
he
yeah,
asked
yeah.
me, I need to get back to him. He was like, if I want to join, or like meet up with you guys over there,
Bro,
because you sorry.
it's all planned. Everything is planned, bro. It'd be amazing to have you out there, bro. Because then you can
Okay,
actually get in on the content as well. So if you're free, bro, come out to Tokyo, bro. Yeah, it's
okay,
it's my favorite place in the world. I don't know if you've been. Have you been to
I have.
Tokyo?
Yeah,
Bro, it's insane, bro. It's
I
like the
loved it.
best, bro. So come out and
Yeah,
join us. It's literally just a bunch of the boys, but it's all of some of my really good buddies as well, and they're all very
yeah,
entrepreneurial. So everyone's just
yeah,
kind of doing their thing,
yeah,
and navigating mid 20s together.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
bro,
yeah.
if you have the chance, please do come out.
Okay, okay. And then okay, I'll literally think about it. I'll just yeah, I'll work out the logistics. And then, are you guys going to Vietnam as well after that?
Yes, we're going to Vietnam.
Yeah.
Vietnam for 1 week after that as well, and we're
Okay.
doing because a lot of them they've got permission to work remote. So
Ah,
We've just basically got a really big Airbnb for 2 weeks. Well, I'm staying for a week, to just work out there and just
Yeah,
enjoy cuisine and culture. And
yeah,
Vietnam is amazing, so I'd love to
yeah,
have you
yeah, yeah,
there, and we can go
yeah,
over
yeah, yeah.
food as well. So if you have
Okay,
2 weeks, please come out
yeah,
with us to
okay,
Japan and Vietnam,
okay,
and we were
okay,
just working and grinding, and then you
okay.
can actually confirm whether I've lied in this podcast about my time blocking and the work that I've been putting in. So,
Bro, you know I believe it, bro. But yeah, okay. In the world of like social proof, everyone thinking is looking out for. Yeah, sure.
hey, we can do another hit bag of the podcast, but in person, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. That's
That'd
true.
be sick.
Oh, that would be so sick. Okay, cool. That yeah. Okay, I'll think about it. So thank you, man. Next question. Favorite movie, and I've never asked you this actually.
Ooh. Favorite movie is a tough one, actually, bro. I'd love to get your take on it as well, but mine, I think, is Catch Me If You Can. I feel like I have to stick with the first thing that comes to mind. You
That's
seen
so
Catch Me
good.
If You Can?
Yes,
The
yes, yes.
Leonardo
Yeah,
DiCaprio when he
yeah,
was young. But
yeah,
I feel like that's just like it literally encapsulates everything. Like,
yeah,
that hustle mindset, the kind of
yeah,
like, going through the motions to find
yeah,
what works and
yeah,
doing whatever it takes. I feel like that's
yeah,
very me.
yeah.
Um, I feel like
I
it's
can see
very,
that.
very, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like if anything, that it's very us, kind of going through whatever to make, and not ends meet, like we're in a dire situation, but it's like sort of being a creative outside the box and finding
yes,
solutions to things and just
yeah,
being on your feet.
yeah,
And even in that movie, he's very like people is power,
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing. And
yeah.
and he's like connecting with lots of different people in different ways, and that's always resonated with me, man.
Nice, love that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched this film, Project Hail Mary, that just came out. It's
No, I didn't.
so good, bro. Honestly, like that is not one of my favorite films. Yeah, it's like got everything that I want, and it's also a space film as well. So I'm a sucker
Okay.
for those like space films. Yeah.
I'll be on it tonight, bro. I'll be on it tonight.
Hey, let's go, let's go. Favorite food or cuisine to eat?
Hey, this is a tough one, bro. You already know I gotta stick with my people, bro. You gotta
Yeah,
stick
yeah,
with my
yeah.
people, bro.
Big up.
Vietnamese food, bro, all day, every day, bro. It's just I love food in general. I can't pick one
Yeah,
one one big one. Like I love every single food, cuisine in Asia,
yeah,
especially, bro. Whether that's
yeah, yeah,
Japanese, Thai,
yeah,
Korean,
yeah,
Malaysian,
yeah.
Vietnamese, bro. And actually, this funny story. I actually been telling people this before I went to university. I didn't like Asian food. Like, I didn't like
Really?
Vietnamese food. No, no, that's a
Oh,
lie. I loved Asian food, but I didn't like
yeah.
Vietnamese food in particular
Okay.
because we were eating it so much at home growing up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then when I went to university and we were eating like chicken nuggets and stuff like that, bro,
Yeah,
my impression changed, bro. And
yeah,
it's so versatile. But
yeah.
I think Asian food is so up there. But then, like,
Absolutely.
sometimes you miss your Italian as well. Italian food is pretty up there for me, and I think
Yeah,
South Asian food is incredible.
yeah.
But I gotta stick with Vietnam.
Hell
You
yeah,
know?
bro. Can't go wrong. What's your favorite like dish though within Vietnamese cuisine? Like bún bò Huế or like
Yeah, it's all bull knowledge, expert bull knowledge from you there, bro.
hey,
Yes, sir. And
hey.
it depends on the day. Sometimes, like, I feel like we have the best baguette in the world, bro.
Mm, bang me.
Like, it's French. It's French by history. So, but I love a banh mi. It's great.
Yeah,
And it's either that or you can't go wrong with. This is kind of basic answer, but it's pho. Like, you
yeah,
just can't go wrong with that. Sometimes,
yeah.
especially, bro, when we were back in uni and you had hangover days,
Hangovers.
bro. Oh my God, that was like
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
hangover cure, bro. Just
That
some
is
noodle
true.
soup. Yeah, and actually as well, sidetrack. I really like a roti canai. It's
Yeah.
so good, bro.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
up
yeah,
there
yeah,
for me too, bro.
yeah, yeah.
That's yours is probably Malaysian food, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Malaysian food,
yeah, yeah.
just like that. I grew up there. It's in my blood, and it's just like there's so much variety. I'm just like, yeah, nothing can beat.
Home
Yeah.
food.
Although Vietnamese food is high up there as well, just because I love how like it's much more. People might cancel me if they hear this, but like Malaysian food isn't that nutritious. That's why I
Yeah.
came to realization. But Vietnamese food is more nutritious. Like you get more like nutrient dense
Yes.
elements, healthy. a lot of fiber, which I love. And
Yeah,
in Malaysia, it's a lot of like oil. I'm just like, the fuck. That's why we're
yeah.
like the number one obese country in Asia, bro. Like,
You know what? I think funnily enough, we're the least obese country.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that's how it is.
There's an anomaly right here, but it's okay. We move.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, okay, that's nice. That's nice. And favorite song?
Ooh, that's a really tough one. Do you know what? I actually don't have one.
Okay, no, that's fair.
I
That's
actually don't
fair.
have one, but like I found a Michael Jackson song the other day. That was pretty cool. Because I've never really been too much a Michael Jackson listener, but there's a song called Chicago. That was pretty good. I've been listening to that on repeat quite a lot. Apparently it was a song that was they found after he passed away. Rest in peace, Michael Jackson. But
Oh,
it's a really good song. A really good song.
yeah.
Really catchy.
Okay.
Just give it a shot.
Okay.
If you ever listen
Nice,
to it,
nice.
it's really
I will. I
catchy.
will. I'll put in the link on the app as well for you anyone to listen to. And then the last. Well, I guess this one kind of touches on this though, but I've already asked you this, but I guess yeah. Favorite quote.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. We definitely touched on that. I think also, you know, this one is really weird, right? I don't really stick to it too much, but if you know how to spend money, you know how to find it.
Yeah, that makes sense
I've,
though.
it's such a controversial one, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
but I think maybe it's applied more in a business aspect, right? If you spend
yeah, yeah,
money on
yeah,
business, then you find ways to make it back. Obviously, don't go spending all your life savings on things like
yeah,
clothes and stuff.
yeah,
But naturally, I think if you have a more expensive lifestyle, you're gonna have to find a way to sustain it. Um, so, if anything, knowing what I know now, which is nothing compared to people in their 30s and 40s, but
mm, mm,
if you go and spend money appropriately, it's always going to come back. Money comes and goes. But invest in something that makes you better. Like, for example, I used to always like think it's adult business, adult talk, and it's kind of irrelevant. But now I invest money into like camera equipment and vlogging equipment.
mm, mm.
Is investing into doing things that you really enjoy, or like that gym membership. Go get
Yeah,
it, invest in it.
yeah,
Like I I know how daunting it can be to not be able to cover expenses, or things being super expensive, right? But when you're investing in things like your health, you should never
mm,
think twice. Like
yeah,
put money into that gym membership, put money into things that improve your day quality of life, even if it stretches you thin, because it then becomes a necessity. And I don't think there should be compromise when there's important things like your health.
mm. Love that. I love that, man. And I guess final question from me, dude. What's next for you? Like, what should people look out for? Yeah, what's exciting stuff happening?
Hey man, look, food travel for me, I've always said my content is something that you put on when you're having dinner, when you're having that meal and you want to find something to watch and it's in the background, or sometimes even if you're doing chores around the house, you just put on one of the vlogs, bro. For me, I'm gonna release more vlogs, I'm gonna release more food videos, shorts, just to share good cuisine around the world, where you should go, especially if you're traveling in those specific locations. So that's to come. Food travel. I'm gonna put up some more sports content as well. So if you want to see some dynamic sports,
Yeah,
click
yeah,
on
yeah.
it, to see some top talent in volleyball. Maybe we'll diversify in the future in the
Mm,
UK.
yeah,
So food, travel, sports, it's gonna be on repeat, rinse and repeat. And maybe as well we'll try to do some like some trends, some skits as reels or shorts. So keep an eye out for those. Those will just be lighthearted and a bit of fun. So yeah, I mean, it'd be good to have you in a few of those at some point.
yeah. Thank you, bro. No, no, exciting stuff, man. Exciting stuff. And if anyone wants to like say reach out to you, like how should they like where should they go? Like YouTube, Instagram, like or what's the best way? Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
anyone.
no, of course. Please do, David B. Tran, if you have any questions, more than welcome. I'll always
Yeah,
reply as well. So,
yeah.
it's just my pretty much my full name, David letter B and Tran, across Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok as well. So, just all across all of those.
Amazing, amazing. And guys, like I said, I'm gonna put everything, this is gonna go out like as always on YouTube, on Spotify, wherever, and there'll be like David's like details in there as well. So yeah, I wouldn't gatekeep that from you. Don't worry. And that aside, David, I really appreciate you jumping on. It's been so great to have you and just like learn about your journey, your story, and hopefully if people have been trying to get into like YouTubing, hope they can like just get some inspiration from like the way that you've been putting out what you did previously that people don't really know, like the fact that you had like that 2 years worth of content. That is crazy, and I think that makes sense as reflected into like the quality of work that you're putting out. I know you say you're not the most happy with like say, some of your earlier videos, but like I mean, in my point of view, I know it looks great. So really proud of you, bro. Honestly, in terms of like the journey you've been on, and yeah, much love to it. And yeah, I really appreciate all this.
No, it's my pleasure, bro. I really appreciate it as well. Thank you for all the kind words you've been saying, and that's what's keeping me going. So that's what's gonna be when you see the next video. Just know that it's you that pushed it out. But look, I appreciate everything that you're doing as well. I think you're doing a great job. I think a lot of the time, you don't get appreciation, and people don't really speak about it. But I think you're doing great. You got to keep doing what you love, and I love watching your content. So keep pushing out the short videos you push out. Keep pushing
Yeah,
out the music. Keep pushing out the
yeah,
podcast.
yeah,
Thank you for the work that you're doing for the environment, for all of us. It's great. It's engaging. It keeps us going. So I really appreciate you. Coming on here. It's a privilege. So thank you for everything. And look, it's been good. I feel like it's new for me to come on a
yeah,
podcast, but I've just
yeah,
been catching up with a good friend, so I really
yeah.
enjoyed it.
Love, bro. Thank you so much, man. And guys, I will catch you next time. Bye.